Alright, so this is not my first video. I posted one in January, I believe, in 2025, this year. Yeah, I didn't post it yet, but I will in the future, but it's in the past. Because now I'm starting this journey, I'm documenting my journey, and that video in January is actually the first video ever of me being here in a military shack, wanting to get out. It was just right before a deployment. I think it was 3 days right after filming that video, that first video. And I'm back now. I'm back and a lot happened since then. First of all, well, halfway through my deployment, I got the chance to actually go to Seoul and see what it was all about. And it was, guys, Seoul is amazing. You know, I see all these YouTube videos about Seoul, you know, saying that there's a population crisis, everybody's so unhappy, and all of that. You know, there's some truth to that a little bit. But just like anywhere in the world, there are some problems anywhere in the fucking world, okay? And I'm not gonna say that Canada is much better, okay, or the US. Although I still think US is probably one of the greatest countries in the world as far as opportunities, and you know, you can be anything. You know, you're sort of living the American dream. I still think there's some truth to that, and it's not like going to mayhem, although it is a little bit, but let's not go into the politics. I was in Seoul. And first of all, I gotta say that food there is the absolute best, no question, okay? Like as far as the quality of what you're getting for the price, still affordable. I would say it's very similar to Canada, but you get way more for what you pay for, and you know, it's actually better taste, and also, you know, there's something about Asia. Every time you eat there, it's not like you don't get this massive crash, right? You know, a couple hours after your meal. So that's massive for me, because if you want to be productive, if you want to get some work done, but every time after lunch, you know, a couple hours after you feel like fucking passing out, well, it's not ideal, right? It's not good. But one thing that helped is that, you know, I was always on the move. I loved walking around Seoul. You know, there's so many places to see, so many neighborhoods. The subway system is amazing. It's right there on the fucking second, guys. Not a freaking paper, no food waste, no garbage in the subway. You know, it's super clean, AC's running, Wi-Fi's blasting, everybody's minding their own business. And, you know, it's quite peaceful. You do feel like a foreigner, because you are, but it's peaceful. It's peaceful being in a country where you know you'll never be Korean, like Japan, you know you'll never be Japanese, even if you stay 5 years, but there's something peaceful about, you know, being this foreigner, adapting to another culture and seeing how different living your life can be. And you know, that really reinforced me wanting to leave the military, you know. But, you know, coming back from the deployment, I did a few months after, and then I came back home for a week, and then guess what? After a week of being home, I booked a flight to Bangkok, and that was amazing. Bangkok, you know, Thailand I think is on a whole other level right now. It's still developing, but I mean, it's like the Vegas of Asia. It's not like degenerate. I'm not saying that because of Vegas, but it's just, you can do anything you want there. Anything you want, you can. Okay, anything's possible. You know, the food is good, but not as good as Korea. But as far as entertainment, you know, if you're more into history, culture, you know, there's awesome temples, malls. If you like shopping, I mean, the malls are endless and they're massive. There's a mall called Icon Siam. It costs I think at 1.2 billion or something to build. It's fucking crazy, okay? And now I'm coming back here in the shack, and I'm 30 now, if you don't know. I'm 30 years old, so I'm not saying I'm old at all. I feel very good. But when you're 30 and, I don't know about you guys, especially men, if you've lived your 20s trying a bunch of different shit, right? Trying to get rich, going after that shiny object, getting rich quick. For me, starting out when I was probably 21, I was in university, but I was also trying e-commerce, that whole drop shipping thing when it's really started to get big. Making ads on Facebook, literally getting YouTube clips, putting that to an MP4 converter, and then making an ad with subtitles and all that stuff. I didn't make money, but there was a day that I made $400 and I was super happy. But then the same day I spent like $400 on ads. So, it's just break even, but I lost money before. And so it's just this shiny object syndrome, right? And then you see something else on Instagram ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads. And then you try on the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And you spend high ticket items like $3K, $4K, $5K. And you're kind of broke because you're going, you're graduating from university, or maybe you didn't go to university, and you're just getting these part-time gigs after part-time gigs that you don't fully enjoy. And then you spend all that part-time money on those shiny objects and try to make money online. And you kind of spend your 20s being fucking broke, to be honest. You're broke, you try a bunch of different shit, so you stay at home, you don't fully enjoy your 20s maybe. I did enjoy them, but I didn't go full blown, degenerate and party every weekend and all that. It wasn't really my thing, but a part of me still think that I may have underlived my 20s a little bit, as far as dating, building on my social skills and all of that. But that's a whole other topic for that. There's a whole system that I want to build and document, and I think it's going to be great for men approaching their 30s or in their 20s and really want to fully rebuild themselves. We're talking body, so building a commanding physique, having an unshakable presence, and also building tactical systems. So all of that coming to a system to really rebrand yourself, get to know yourself, know what you really want in life and not living someone else's life. And, building that body, not just for the looks or those first impressions, but really building that mental acuity. And, I don't want to say feel confident, because confidence is a whole other topic. Confidence is just a state. You can't be confident all the fucking time. Okay, it's a state. But I digress here. Okay. But yeah, this is why I'm building these videos, is to document my journey from being here in the military and coming out of it and rebranding myself, rebuilding myself, and going back to Asia, create that character arc there and building my personal brand. So, this is quite raw right now. I don't have a script, I don't have anything. I'm just trying to work on my communication skill, which is part of the cut system, to just, talk and talk, right? It's a skill, right? And yes, I did learn it a little bit while I was in film school. I forgot to tell you about that, but during my 20s, halfway, about 23, 24, I was doing part-time gigs, but the latest gig that I had at that time was door-to-door sales, and I really learned how to talk and think quickly under pressure and come up with with arguments and objection handling and all of that. And I really upped my social skills that way. And next thing you know, I applied while I was in university to know more about a Toronto film school. And then I think 3 months, 4 months later, or they called me, but my English kind of sucked, and I don't know, they never called me back. I guess I had really made a bad impression, but a couple years later, when I got that door-to-door sales job, they called me in the middle of my shift, and I said, why the fuck not? So I got my, little acting kind of situation from 2019 to 2021, 22, and we know what happened in that time span, right? So it was really tough to land something. I had to learn remotely most of the time, and same thing happened in Toronto. I was going part-time gig after part-time gig and trying to make it, as an actor. Going freaking auditions that didn't even make sense, these commercials that I didn't want to be even a part of. Not fun to do. It's just doing auditions at home and pretending you're talking to the wall here, or having your parents put your laptop next to the camera. They say the lines, it's all glitchy, laggy. Fucking sucks. But I loved making movies. I met some amazing guys that I actually ended up living with for a while. And, we did 2 independent films together. And I love acting. Like, if I had $100 million in the bank, like, if you ask me, what would I do if I still had that in the bank? I would act. I love it. I don't do it for the money, I just love it. I feel very present when I do it. It's fun, it's challenging. You meet cool people. It's not always woke, guys, that industry. And yeah, you just it's so fun. It's very fulfilling. So, obviously I'm here, so I kind of quit in some way, right? Money was running out, was desperate for something else, and February 2024, this is when I joined. Today it's July 22nd, 2025, so we're about halfway to my contract. And now I'm sitting here talking to you, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but if you're watching this and you're not sure what you want to do with your life, and you're closer to 30, maybe you're 30 like me, maybe you're 33, 34, 35, maybe you're 20, you're in a great spot right now, because you can probably see a pattern of what I did in my 20s. Maybe you're going to do the same. Maybe you have figured it all out already, and you know what you want to do, and you know what you want to do. But if you're like me, and you feel like something is missing, well, perhaps it's time to sit down. Like, sit down. No phone, nothing. Get a pen and paper. I'm not fucking kidding. Really write down everything that's on your fucking mind. Everything that's troubling you, everything that makes you anxious, everything that makes you second guess yourself. Just write it all out. Write all the possibilities in the world. Like you think about a certain career path you want to take, write it down. Write it all down. Write the different paths of life that you want to live. And this will probably not bring you clarity right away, but it will plant a seed of you rebuilding yourself. Because come on, something is missing right now in your life. Maybe you have this job that you've been having for a while, but every day is like the fucking same, right? And you're missing excitement. It's okay wanting to have fun and getting paid, having fun. It's fine. Okay, we're not being delusional. I'm 30. I'm not one of those Gen Z born in the 2000s. I'm telling you, and I'm born in 1995. You can get paid and have fun. You can build that life. Other people are building it. And if they have, it means you also can. Okay? And it should piss you the fuck off that they're there having fun, blowing money like you've never imagined. Okay? Making in a week what you're making in a year. Okay? You can have that. You can. But don't try to copy them. Okay? That's why, that's the part of the exercise. Write it down. Write everything that's going through your mind, what you want to do, what your day looks like, what's your ideal day look like. And I'm gonna post another video soon about how to really write your goals down. And not just writing a goal down like, I want to make 20K a month with my online business. No, it's more than that. We're going to break that goal down into the higher self, the day-to-day self, and the ego. Okay? And then from there, you're going to have the carrot and the stick. I don't know if you know that analogy, but there's going to be a whole web effect on these two things. Okay? What happens when you do reach certain things? What other things it can bring you, and for the stick, same thing, but the consequences. And having that clear, okay, and reading that every day will really get you an idea of, what you actually need to do, what mentors you might need to get to where you want to be, because mentors, guys, this is the key to get to where you want to be, okay? It's not investing in the next, meme coin, things like that, or starting Airbnb, maybe later. But for now, if you're in your 20s, 30s, you need to educate yourself, seek the mentors that are already living the life that you want to live, but then taking all that information and putting it towards the life that you want to live. Okay, and finding the ways to get there, not actually copying word for word or step by step, because your life is going to be different. Everybody has a different lifeline, but everything in the universe has already been accomplished. So it's just about you picking that lifeline like it was already meant for you and going after it. It's not about putting too much importance into your goals. Because if you put too much importance, the balance forces, as we call them, are going to put you in the other direction. It's just to balance it all out. So if you're too desperate for something, most of the time you're not going to get it. So it's almost like you need to go after your goal with so much intention and action that it's just like going down the street and picking your mail. As easy as that. It's intention, action, without importance. And this is a whole other topic. I know I'm getting nitty-gritty with this, but this is from a book called Reality Transurfing. And that book can change your life. And it's starting to change mine. And that's why, I'm doing this first video to document my journey, and looking back at that first video, I'm gonna be, that's why I made it.